Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Pradeep. I'm a senior technical manager at Beacon, representing Delhi North region. And today we are going to talk about SolidWorks 2D to 3D, easing the transition from your 2D drawings or your 2D CAD software to 3D. And it's going to be a 40 to 45 minutes webinar, and we'll follow it up with Q&A. We'll take all of your queries and answer them one after one. And I think we are right on time. So let's get started. Before we actually get into the product overview in SolidWorks, I have a few slides to run through. So let's start off. And if you have any technical problems in logging in or in hearing us, please let us know. You can use the chat window or the questions window on your GoToMeeting screen so that we know that you are able to hear us. Okay, this is our agenda for today. We'll be talking about SolidWorks 2D to 3D capabilities extensively, and in this process, we'll look at several different capabilities of SolidWorks in the form of SolidWorks Explorer, which is an inbuilt explorer for your CAD data, using which you can have easy access to all your CAD files. It can be your 2D files, it can be your 3D files, and it also has powerful search capabilities built into it. And then we'll look at eDrawings, which is a collaboration communication tool which bundles with SolidWorks. It's a free to download tool using which you can open up any of the CAD drawings or any of your CAD models. We'll also take a look at how eDrawings works and how we can use it effectively for a better communication or a better collaboration within an organization, or even with your third-party vendors or suppliers or even customers. And then we'll take a look at SolidWorks 2D to 3D capabilities, wherein we'll be bringing in some 2D drawings. We'll open them up in SolidWorks. We'll build 3D models out of it, 3D parts out of it, and then we'll build assemblies, and then we'll take a look at all the benefits of using a 3D software as opposed to a 2D CAD software. In this process, we'll again take a look at how SolidWorks will help you to reuse your existing designs or existing data so that you can take the maximum advantage of it and bring your products faster to the market. And then to wrap it up, we'll take a look at DraftSight, which is a professional grade 2D CAD solution from Dassault Systems. It can easily replace your existing 2D software, and using which you can create, edit, and view your 2D files. It can be due to the previous CAD platform that you were in, or it can be any of the 2D data given by your customers, suppliers, etc., etc. So first up, we'll talk about SolidWorks Explorer. This is a file management solution bundled with every seat of SolidWorks. I always, think that Windows Explorer is fine. It's just fine for your Microsoft Office files or maybe multimedia files. But when it comes to CAD data, you need a specialized Explorer, and that's what SolidWorks Explorer is all about. It has got a powerful search capability built into it, so using which you can dig up your CAD files using keyword search. You can search by title name, you can search by attributes, you can search by a lot of other parameters, and you can easily dig up data which is hidden deep inside your servers or in your hardware. And it holds good for all SolidWorks formats as well as 2D formats, DWG, and you can perform routine tasks like renaming, replacing, and copying files. It also gives you a 2D or a 3D preview depending on the file format, and it also points out all the references this particular file that is referring to. Next up, we will talk about eDrawings. As I said earlier, it's an email-enabled communication tool. It is a free-to-download tool using which you can view, measure, and mark up your designs. So when I say view, you can use this eDrawings for extensively for review purposes or to share your CAD data across your organization. So you don't need a CAD license just to open up a particular SolidWorks file or a particular CAD file to review or to just to take a look at it. So that's what eDrawings is all about. You can download it right from our website, and It is good for across multiple platforms. It is also available on iPad as an application. And as I said, it holds good for SolidWorks files, ProE files, STL files, as well as 2D files, DWG and DXF. It has got a wide variety of capabilities, like you can interrogate your designs, you can dig deeper into your designs, you can create cross sections on the fly to see what's inside of your designs, and it also talks about the mass properties. It also gives you the full assembly tree, and you can create markups. You can share these files via email, so the whole communication process will be much more effective. And then the core of today's webinar or today's presentation will be talking about 2D to 3D. How do you bring your 2D drawings into SolidWorks, and how do you build your 3D parts out of it? SolidWorks has fantastic features or capabilities in the form of glass box creation techniques and other techniques that we'll be taking a look at a couple of minutes from now. And you can bring in any existing DWG file or DXF file, and you have got control over the layers, so you can bring in only the layers that are important to you. You can assign units, and you can even import dimensions or constraints which may be 2D CAD associative dimensions, and SolidWorks will convert them as SolidWorks native dimensions, so that the whole thing now is parametric, and you can easily edit and incorporate any design changes that you may come across. You can also use blocks, the existing CAD blocks, 2D blocks. We'll also take a look at it. And SolidWorks again supports all the fonts which AutoCAD supports. And then finally, we'll talk about DraftSight, which is a free to download professional grade 2D CAD solution. As I said earlier, this can easily replace your existing CAD licenses, 2D CAD licenses, and using which you can create your files. It has got a very familiar user interface for those of you who are existing users of 2D CAD. You can use it for a bunch of different reasons. You can maybe use it just to open up some existing files, or if you want to create files or edit files, you can do that as well. It is compatible not only just with Windows, it also is available for Macintosh and Linux. We'll take a look at it, how this works. So I have got a design task at hand. I have created a hypothetical scenario wherein we'll receive a design change from a manager, and we'll try to incorporate this design change. What we have is just 2D data, plain 2D data for all these parts of this clamp assembly that you're seeing on the screen. So we have 2D files of the individual piece parts, DWG drawings, and then we'll bring them into SolidWorks, and then we'll build SolidWorks parts from each of them, and then we'll build SolidWorks assembly. In this process, we'll take a look at the benefits of using a 3D CAD software in the form of collision detection, interference detection, dynamic clearance, etc., etc. And then we'll wrap it up by creating a SolidWorks drawing, and we'll use the existing title block from 2D, and we'll also see how we can reuse existing 2D blocks. And we'll also take a look at design library, which is a very useful feature in SolidWorks, using which you can save a lot of time in reusing your existing parts or designs or features. So let's get to SolidWorks. So here is SolidWorks, and as I said, first we'll talk about the task at hand. As I said earlier, we have a design change coming in from, let's say, engineering manager. So first up, I want to point out all the different file formats that eDrawings can handle. As you can see, we have eDrawings native formats. This can be published using SolidWorks, as well as you can open up SolidWorks files directly, the part files, assembly files, drawing files, and template files. You can also open up ProE files directly, Creo files, as well as STL files, and 2D files in the form of DXF and DWG. So today I have here eDrawing file, which was sent from design manager who wants to incorporate design change. So let's take a look at it. So this is the same drawing, a 2D drawing of the clamp assembly that you saw earlier. So this is a 2D drawing clearly, and you have access to your bill of materials, and you have access to all the title block data, and you have access to all this balloons. And on the left top corner, we have a markup. So the markup reads that the clearance between the lever and the knob is too tight, and he wants us to increase this clearance. So let's try to accomplish this challenge. And in this process, we'll create 2D parts and 3D parts and 3D assemblies out of it. So you can, as I said, eDrawings is quite a powerful tool. Here you have access to all the layers, so you have control over the layers, and you can add markups like what we see here. We can easily add a markup, something like verify the height of the post. And you can click on send. So this will open up in your email application with attachment in any of these formats: eDrawings file, zip file, or even an executable file. So let's open this up in SolidWorks and try to incorporate the design change and build a 3D model out of it. So this is eDrawings for let's say a 2D file. Let me open up one of the 3D files. So I'm opening up a gearbox, which is in the form of EASM, which is eDrawings assembly file. And you can see that we have quite a detailed design here, and we have access to the assembly tree. So you can click on any part, and it will point out the part in the graphics area, or vice versa. And we have access to the mass properties. It being a 3D file, we have access to all the mass properties, and you can create sections to interrogate more into your designs to find out what's going on inside. You can create section views. And we can also use a measure tool. Currently I have deactivated it, so I'm protecting the IP of this design. But if you want, you can just activate it and send it to someone who wants to measure or verify some of the dimensions. And again, as always, you can create markups. And the best part is this is a free to download tool. You can just look for the for this application eDrawings in a SolidWorks website or Beacon website, and you can add any of these stamps, etc., etc. So very interesting application. The best part is you don't need a CAD license just to view or review your CAD data. It can be 2D CAD or 3D CAD. So eDrawings can easily assist you in doing that. And the eDrawings is also now available for your iPad. So let's go ahead and start our work in SolidWorks. So this is SolidWorks. It's 2012. And as I said, we'll first take a look at SolidWorks Explorer. For the existing users of SolidWorks, I highly recommend using SolidWorks Explorer because, as I said, Windows Explorer is fine for your multimedia files or Microsoft Office files, etc. But when it comes to CAD data, you need a specialized software, specialized Explorer, which will, understand CAD data, which will support all the CAD formats. So here I have SolidWorks Explorer. As I said earlier, it has got powerful search capabilities. So here I'm looking for a file, the same assembly file that we took a look at, but it was eDrawings format earlier, and now we can see that it is DWG, a 2D CAD, AutoCAD. And here we have a tab-based interface. So you can take a look at all the properties. Like you have all the block properties. So I'm accessing the title block properties drawn by revision number, etc., etc. As I said earlier, it also gives you references. So this is assembly level drawing, which is now referring to a bunch of piece part files, piece part drawings. So all these are the individual part drawings. So we'll be opening up some of them and in SolidWorks and build 3D parts out of it. And you can also, it has also got a preview, the same eDrawings preview, so you can access any of these files. Let's open up a part file and we can access, and this is a lever part which will be actually editing in order to accommodate the design change. The clearance was small, so we need to shorten this part by a good 10 millimeters or so to increase the clearance. So let's go back to the uh, assembly file. So this is SolidWorks Explorer, and a small uh, module of it has been built into SolidWorks 2012. You can directly search for your files and models from your search tab here. So it's almost as good as the Explorer that we just saw. So here I have the same file, assembly level drawing, and I can directly open up this folder right from here, and I can have access to all these different files. So now I have a bunch of DWG files, so I'll open them up in SolidWorks and build 3D parts out of it. So this is the first file. I have just dragged and dropped it into SolidWorks interface, and SolidWorks has detected that this is a DWG file, and it is asking us to select one of these two options. One is you can create a SolidWorks drawing, or you can convert this existing 2D drawing into a SolidWorks drawing, or you can import it into as a new part, as a 2D sketch or a 3D curve. So we'll select this option. We'll bring it in as a 2D sketch, and then we'll build parts out of it. So this is the import wizard or import window, and the first step is to select one of these two options. So we have selected it to bring it in as a 2D sketch. The next part will be assigning the units. We can bring in the dimensions, and as I said, we have control over the layers, so I don't want the title block and all the other layers, so I'll just get rid of those layers. Here you have zoom, pan, and rotate, etc. And you can select between one of these two backgrounds, white or black, and then we'll go ahead. And the next screen, you have a bunch of options again to define the sketch origin. You can rotate it about all the origin, you can repair sketch, and you can merge points which are too close to each other. But for now, let's retain everything and just click on finish, which will bring it into SolidWorks. SolidWorks again has detected that there are blocks inside this drawing. It's asking us to dissolve the blocks or to retain them. Let's retain the blocks by selecting no. As you can see, SolidWorks has done a pretty decent job of bringing in that file with the dimensions. So now we can go ahead and build a 3D part out of it. So on my left, I have a 2D to 3D toolbar. As soon as you open up a 2D drawing, this toolbar will be automatically turned on. But if it's not, you can just explicitly launch it by right-clicking anywhere on your command manager or any of your toolbars and selecting 2D to 3D toolbar. So here, I'll talk about the glass box functionality now. So here I have my front view and the top view. So we'll let SolidWorks know which one is which. So I'm going to Windows select all the entities which correspond to the front view, and I'll click on this button, add to front sketch. You can see it's grayed out now. It is assigned to the front sketch, and now I'll Windows select or box select all the entities that on the top view, and I'll click on this add to top sketch. As soon as I click this, you can see that SolidWorks will fold these views for me. This is called glass box functionality. So it's trying to fold the views. If you have more views, right view, left view, we can also do that. So now we need to do a bit of aligning. So we have options to align. You can pick any two entities, and you can click on this button, which is called align sketch. So what this does is it aligns these two views carefully like this. So now we can get out of the sketch, and we can use any of the SolidWorks features like instant 3D and add material to it. And I don't even have to measure the thickness of it. I can just snap it to the point which I'm interested in, and I can get rid of the sketch. I'll assign some material to it, and we have our first part ready. And this is a small link part. I started with a very basic part, and now we'll save it. This is a link part, so let me save it as link. And up next, we have the second part coming up, which is similar part. It's a foot part of this clamp assembly. Again, I'll use the same option, import to a new part as a 2D sketch. In the next screen, you can see that you can see the preview. Again, as always, we'll assign the units. We'll bring in the dimensions and the constraints. We'll get rid of the data that we don't need. And I'm going to click on finish. So SolidWorks has brought in all this information for us, and this is extremely easy because it's a revolved component. We don't even need the top view. So all I have to do is select the properties, change the properties of this existing center line I have, and from here I can go about revolving it using one of the SolidWorks existing commands. SolidWorks will allow you to select contours, so I can select either of these contours and revolve it 360 degrees or about the line that we have selected. So it's extremely easy when it comes to revolved components. We don't even need to use the glass box functionality of assigning the top view and the front view. So we will quickly save this. This is let me assign the material first. We'll quickly save this as foot. And let's move on to the next component. The next component is a little bit tricky. Again, I have dragged and dropped it, import as a 2D part. You can see that this is the lever part, which actually needs to be edited, or it needs to be shortened by let's say 10 millimeters or so. So we can definitely do this in SolidWorks, but I'd like to show you DraftSight at this point. So let me open it up in DraftSight. DraftSight is as I said, it's a free to download professional grade 2D software from Dassault Systems. It can easily replace your existing 2D CAD licenses. And you can see that we have got a very familiar user interface. We have all the toolbars, menus, and command line interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select some entities, and I'm going to use a stretch command. So let me use the stretch command. I will just box select these entities, and I can specify a point, and now I can stretch them or shorten them. But let me use a command line. What I want to do is I want to shorten it by 10 mm in negative 180 degrees direction. So there you go. And these dimensions are associative AutoCAD dimensions, so they are also updated now. So we can quickly save this. Again, we have got access to different layers. We have your layer manager. So if you don't want your title block, you can get rid of it. And let's quickly save this. We'll save it as a modified drawing so that we don't disturb the existing one. And we'll close DraftSight and go back to SolidWorks now. So yeah, this is a modified drawing. There you go. So we can bring in this information. We can get rid of any of the other unnecessary lines. And I think I opened up a wrong file. Let me close it and open it again. There you go. So we have all the dimensions, and now we can bring in all the layers. Or if you want, you can deselect some of the layers. And let's click on finish. So SolidWorks has brought in 3 views. Now we have a front view, top view, and a right side view. So we'll start assigning views. Oops, I think I missed a small line here. I think I missed it while selecting it, but not a problem. We can easily add a relation here, a SolidWorks native relation. And now we'll go ahead and use the glass box functionality to assign views. Like I'm going to add this onto the front view. This is going to be a top view. You can see that SolidWorks has already folded it for me. And finally the right view. So this is quite powerful functionality which offers easy creation of your 2D drawing. So now I'm going to align the sketch. You can see that it has done the alignment, and I need to repeat the alignment for my right side view as well. There you go. And now that my sketches are aligned, my views are aligned, I can quickly get out of the sketch. Again, use Instant 3D. All I have to do is drag this green arrow, and SolidWorks will do the rest for me. I'm going to add material, and I'm going to snap it to the point on the top view. There you go. And now we need to take care of the right side view. So this is going to be a cut. So I'm going to select through all, and I can flip side to cut so that I get the exact geometry what I'm looking for. So SolidWorks has done a really nice job of cutting through the geometry for me using the right side view. And this is a very thin walled component. It's actually a sheet metal component, so I can insert bends. And what this does is I can have access to the flat pattern as soon as I insert the bends. And if you can see the top view has got a small curved surface here, but we need to take care of it. So what I'll do is I'll just orient myself to the top view, and I'll create a sketch on the surface, and I can leverage any of these existing entities on my top view using convert entities. I'll just pick the entity and let me extend it a little bit. Let me get out of the sketch now and use one of the SolidWorks native commands, extruded cut. I can simply flip the direction by selecting the arrow here, and there you go. Now it's exactly matching. I can quickly hide this component, and now when I again reintroduce the bends, you can see that SolidWorks has done a really nice job of bending that curved surface for me. Quickly assign the material and save it. One of the benefits of using 3D again is you have access to all the properties like mass properties or center of gravity, etc., etc. So as soon as we assign the material, we know that the weight of the individual piece parts, or in the case of assembly, we have the whole weight of the assembly. So let me quickly save it again. This is the lever part. So we have created 3 different parts in let's say a span of 5-10 minutes. And what I have here on screen is the clamp assembly. We have built all these parts that you see on the screen from 2D drawings. So everything was built out of 2D drawings. So I have them ready for you so that now we'll go ahead and assemble the parts that we just created. Again, I'm going to use SolidWorks search. But what I'm interested in is a part document. So I can sort by the file type also. So we have the foot part, lever part, and the link part. What I'm going to do is just quickly pin the tab and drag and drop these files onto SolidWorks interface. I'm just approximately dragging them on the SolidWorks window. And now we'll go ahead and properly mate these newly introduced parts. SolidWorks has got a wide variety of mating commands, about 100 of them, and it's extremely easy to use the mates in SolidWorks. All I have to do is control select this surfaces and click on mate, and SolidWorks will automatically figure out the right mate for me. In this case, it's saying that it's a concentric mate, which I can go ahead and accept. And similarly for this part, so you can see that it's extremely easy to assemble components. I need them to be parallel, and I want to maintain a specific distance between them, so I'll just quickly introduce a distance mate there. And for this part, which is the lever part, I need to add a concentric mate between this hole and this part here. So now the part moves in only along the axis of the hole. And now I need to add one more mate, which is going to be a little bit tricky. If you carefully notice, the width between these two planar surfaces of the lever part is slightly greater than the thickness of this post itself. So we have some clearance here. So what I'm going to do is use one of the SolidWorks advanced mates called the width mate. using which I can easily place this component. So I'm selecting the two surfaces for my width selection, and for my tab selection I can even select the curved surface, and SolidWorks will evenly space it out for me, so I didn't even have to measure the thickness or measure the width. And finally I'll add one more mate here, a concentric mate. In SolidWorks smart mating capabilities, you can just drag and drop this and SolidWorks will figure out the mate for you. And we have a coincident mate here between these two surfaces. Oops. Go ahead and select it. And we have one more concentric mate here between these two surfaces. You can see that we are building motion into our assembly as we keep on adding our parts, which is a good thing. Right now I want to replicate this link part onto the other side. You can see we have one more link coming in here, so I can bring in a new part altogether. But what I want to do is I want to leverage the existing mates, so I can quickly select the particular link part and use a command called copy with mates. SolidWorks will give you access to fantastic productivity enhancement tools like this mouse gestures over here, using which I can quickly launch a command right from my graphical interface. I can reuse the concentric mates. All I have to do is now select the coincident mate, the other on the other face, and we have our part ready. So as I said, we are building motion as we go by, and this is all a virtual assembly, and we can even test out if there are collisions or interferences in this. So let's go and do that. Again, I'm going to use mouse gestures to launch a move component command, using which I can detect collisions in this. So I can do a free drag and SolidWorks will point out if there are collisions in my assembly. You can see that SolidWorks is highlighting the post and the link parts, and it's in dark blue, and it's even giving me a ping sound indicating that there's a collision happening. So you immediately know that there's a problem here, and you can quickly go about editing these parts or editing your designs. And we can even check the dynamic clearance. Let me go for standard drag. Let's say we are interested in the clearance between the lever part and the knob here. So we can check the dynamic clearance between these two parts, which is quite a powerful feature. And again, it's extremely easy to use. So it will even give you the minimum clearance. It is given as 23.3765 millimeters. And if you want, you can use this in conjunction with collision detection. So at the point of collision, you have 26.4366 millimeters. And we can even go ahead and figure out if there are collision interferences in our assembly. I'm going to show it to you a little bit later. And for now, let's say our design is all good, and now we're going to add some rivets. We have option to add rivets on these 4 holes and the 2 holes here. So I'll now show you design library features. In SolidWorks, you can have access to toolbox, which is a standard collection of all the fasteners like bolts, screws, nuts, washers, etc. Again, complying to a lot of known standards like ANSI standards, Indian standards, ISO standards, etc. But if you have a feature which is very specific to your organization, very specific to your customer, you can save it as a solid part. You can save it in the design library, and whenever you want to use it, you can just drag and drop it. Like in this case, I want to assemble this rivet at these 6 holes. But again, you can publish one single item in 2 different sizes. So this particular rivet has been published in 2 configurations. One is a 16 millimeters length and one is a 22 millimeters length. So as soon as I drag and drop this onto the user interface, SolidWorks will ask me the length. So for this, I need a 22 millimeters. So I'll just quickly say OK. And let me place it. And I'm going to So we have 2 rivets added now of the appropriate length, 22 millimeters, and you didn't have to add any mates at all. So this is SolidWorks, working at its best. It will automatically figure out the right mates, the concentric mate, as well as the coincident mate for you. So quite a powerful feature. It saves a lot of time. And for these rest of the 4 holes, I need a 16 millimeter rivet. So again, I'm going to do a drag and drop operation here, and this time I'll select 16 millimeters. And you can see that placing them is extremely easy. And we have 4 rivets here and 2. So all this rivets are of 16 millimeters length, so they are exactly fitting in the way it should be doing, and we are all good, done with our assembly. And we can create nice explosions, exploded views. So let me create a nice exploded view. You can do this for showing it on your assembly drawings, or you can create a nice video out of it. I'm gonna bring these parts in, and you can, in 2012 we have a nice auto space component software drag option, using which you can auto space them. Like I have selected 2 components, and SolidWorks will automatically space them for me. And you can animate it, animate the collapse here. So it can be the exact assembly process. And the best part is you can save it as a video file, and you can share it across, or you can use this explosion in your assembly drawing. That's what we're gonna do. We'll quickly create an engineering drawing out of it. I have templates, different sizes. So this is a template that I have for my clamp assembly, and as you can see that it is quite empty. There's no title block, but I'm gonna bring in a 2D title block. But first, let's bring in the views. SolidWorks view palette will load all the views that you're gonna need, like front view, right view, top view, etc., etc. Even due to the explosion in the assembly, we have an isometric exploded view added. So I'm gonna just drag in a front view here, and for the isometric view, I'm gonna bring in the exploded part, so I can add balloons using a auto balloon feature in SolidWorks. Let me move the, and we can add a nice bill of materials using a standard template, and SolidWorks will automatically take care of all the quantities and weights. If you want, you can add it. And let's bring in a title block now. I have a DWG title block from my previous CAD, so I can reuse it. I don't have to create the whole thing again. I can simply reuse it. And best part is I have access to all this attributes as well. So since it's a 2D block, I have attributes here. I can add or update the attributes. So this is our SolidWorks drawing. It hardly takes 2 minutes to create a SolidWorks drawing out of it. And finally, I would like to show you how we reuse AutoCAD blocks. Like in this case, I'm opening up a part file, and I'm going to start sketching on my front plane. And in here, I have some blocks created. All these are 2D blocks. So I can just bring in any of these blocks and drag and drop it onto SolidWorks. Yep. And SolidWorks will ask me if I'm interested in scaling it or revolving it. So I need to revolve it. rotate it by 270 degrees before I place it. So I'll just approximately place it somewhere, and later I can use one of the SolidWorks relations to exactly add a nice relation to the origin. And now I'm interested in bringing in one of the pistons. And next up, let me bring in another block, which is the head of the cylinder. SolidWorks will treat them as native SolidWorks sketches now, so you can add any geometric or dimension relations here. So we have added some relations now, and you can see that SolidWorks not only builds motion into the assemblies, but even for sketches. Like in this case, SolidWorks has built motion into the using existing 2D blocks. It's not even 3D; it's just 2D. And this is a fantastic option in SolidWorks. You can use all your existing 2D data, legacy data, or any of the data that is given by customers, and you can validate it at the 2D level before you go and build it onto 3D. Let's say in this case, you might think that there might be a collision or interference here. So what I have done is I have built a SolidWorks assembly out of it. And you can see that at this point, we might think that there might be some interference, so we can quickly use interference detection. But there is no interference according to SolidWorks. So that can be quite challenging to find out in a 2D environment. That's a benefit, one more benefit of using a 3D environment. So I'm almost done with my presentation, and as I said, it would take 40-45 minutes. I think we can now open up for Q&A. Please feel free to use your questions window or chat window to send in your queries. And thanks for attending the webinar. We'll be more than happy to come to your company and give you a one-on-one presentation of the same. If you want your managers or if you want your colleagues to watch this, we can definitely make an appointment and come down and give a comprehensive product demonstration of SolidWorks at your place. So please feel free to ask us, and I'm gonna put up my email ID. You can make a note of it. You can send me a question. If you want to know anything at all, you can feel free to contact me. I have a question about the presentation. I'll be sharing this presentation with all the attendees. You're going to get an email tomorrow about how to go about downloading this presentation. I have one more question about 2D to 3D in SolidWorks 2009. It is absolutely possible. SolidWorks has always been supportive of using your existing 2D data. SolidWorks 2009 also will support your this conversion. I have one more question regarding a section view. It really depends on what you're trying to use. See, if it's a revolved component, you saw me using that section view for a revolved component. Yes, we can definitely use it. Again, it really depends on what kind of section view is it and what you're trying to build out of it. So my simple way of answering your question is yes, we can use section views to convert 2D to 3D. We did that with the second part. If you remember, we brought in a section view, and then we just actually it's even easier to create a revolved component using a section view than the glass box method. Any other questions? Please feel free to use the chat window. I'm gonna hang on for another 10 minutes maybe. if you have any suggestions for webinar topics that you would like to see, again, you can send an email to us at the email ID displayed on the screen. I have one interesting question about mouse gestures. I'm going to do it again. For existing users of SolidWorks, I think this is going to be extremely helpful. This is called mouse gestures, currently displayed on my screen. This was an addition, I think, in 2011 or 10. I don't remember. Most of the older SolidWorks users are aware of the shortcut toolbars. Basically, you press S on your keyboard and it launches a customizable shortcut bar so that you can access different commands. Again, it is environment dependent. If you're in a sketch mode, it will show something else. Let me go into a sketch mode. So if I'm in a sketch mode, you'll have a different menu, and if you're out of a sketch mode, it will show you a different menu. So similar to this, we have mouse gestures. Basically, you can launch it by right-click drag. So you have to right-click on your mouse and drag it outward. It can be on any direction. So it's one single movement, one continuous single movement, right-click drag, and it will launch mouse gestures. And you can customize it by going to Tools, Customize. So you have your keyboard shortcuts as well as mouse gestures here. So mouse gestures will come in two different options where you can have either 4 gestures or 8 gestures. What I use is 8 gestures, and as I said, it is different for different environments: part environment, assembly, drawing, and sketch. So I have placed all the frequently accessed or frequently used commands or features on my mouse gesture so that anytime I want to use them, I don't have to go all the way to the command manager or to any of these menus. I can just quickly launch them by using mouse gestures. This is an extremely useful tool. It can save a lot of time. You can add lines, dimensions, etc., etc. So what this enables you to do is it will speed up your design process. So I hope I answered the question. You can enable it by going to Tools and Customize options. I have one more question about the collision detection. Let me again go back to SolidWorks. We have a option of using move component. I have it on my mouse gestures. I'll show you how to launch this move component. If you go to assembly, you have it here, move component. You have two options. You can either move a component or rotate a component. In this case, I'm using move component. And you can go about doing a free drag, or you can go about any other axis. I'm going to just use a free drag, which will use the inbuilt mates in SolidWorks. So I'm going to use free drag, and to check the collision, I'll select collision detection, and I can select collision between all components in the assembly, or I can check collision between only the specific parts of the assembly, like this parts. And I can click on resume drag, and I can now drag the components. So whenever there is a collision, SolidWorks will automatically stop. It will highlight the colliding surfaces or colliding faces. So this is the option for collision detection. Or if you want to use dynamic clearance to check the clearance, you can use dynamic clearance option. Both of them are available on the move component menu. I hope I answered the question. Again, the simple answer to your question is it's on your command manager, assembly, move component. And you can check collision detection, or you can check the clearance from here. And if you're interested in interferences, you can launch interference detection by going to Tools, Interference Detection. I have one more question regarding a session on automation, which basically I think you are talking about design automation in SolidWorks. We have done it, I think, quite some time ago, so we need to do it again. Thanks for letting us know. We'll definitely make sure that we'll do a session on design automation in SolidWorks in the coming weeks, or maybe the next month, maybe. Yes, you will all receive emails about our frequent webinars. I mean, this is a continuous process that we've been doing for about quite some time now, and these sessions are extremely helpful. These are maybe for 30-40 minutes, and you can learn a lot of things. We did sessions on tips and tricks. We did sessions on SolidWorks certifications, and we've been exploring all different sections of audiences, like people who are into plant and process, people who are into mold design, etc., etc. Okay, I think it was a useful session. I hope it was a useful session for you. Thanks for attending. We appreciate your time, and please keep an eye out on the emails. You will get an email with the presentation, how to download the presentation, how to access the recording of this presentation. There will be a webinar recording for people who have been who have missed out on this, so you can access the recorded webinar from there. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.